He's alive.
He's here. Look at this man.
Thom is mad at me, guys.
You're living on Twitter. You're trolling all the. Now that you're back and you're activated, the whole 9 yards. But it's good to have you back, my man.
I don't know how to act. Ever since they gave me my Twitter back, I just get caught up in these scrums, and everybody's just pulling me and like, get over here, Zim. And all I'm doing is posting good content. And then all of a sudden, it's like all these Patricia fans, these Patricia Mahomes fans, they're just like, no, like get over here, and like they just don't want to hear about the greatness of Joe Burrow, and I don't get it. I don't understand. If Patricia is who y'all saying he is, how come that they'll do everything in their power to try to give you diversion tactics and be like, oh, yeah, the defense is so amazing. Yeah, that's cool. But let's talk about Joe Burrow. You know what I mean? But they don't want to do that because they know that I'm a threat. They know that number 9 is coming, headed to BURROWHEAD. And this thing is, like, here we are. We're back where we left off. Same thing. I thought after I packed these boys up 3 times, I thought it'd be a little bit more love for number 9. I'm sorry about that.
Zim, you look at a game the other day, my man, and you called it. I give you the credit. By the way, what the hell's wrong with your camera here?
Zim, wipe your thumb over the camera.
Clean that thing up a little bit. You look too good. You're too handsome to have there you go. We're getting better there. Okay.
Is it better?
Yeah, you're better. You're better. All right.
My son be like using this thing.
No, I get it. I get it. Believe me, I know. So, look, you were the guy that called it. Joe Mixon, your guy. You laid it out there. I was the one who suggested to you that maybe, your guy should be handing off some of those carries to Pirine. But Mixon, for my money, Mixon was the best player on the field on Sunday.
That's crazy. I hadn't thought about that. You feel like he was the best player on the field?
Dude, I just thought Burrow's always going to be the guy that gets this or gets that and all that. Yeah. But for me, I thought on Sunday, Mixon was the best player on the team for that game. 20 carries, over 100 yards. You could have given him the ball 35 times in that game, and he'd have run.
He was killing.
He
liked that snow. He liked that snow, didn't he? You know what's so crazy? I just felt like, man, this team is so good. It's so good. It's so many game balls to give out. I hadn't thought about it like that. Of course, me and him talk about like how these are the different things that you can exploit. These are, he was really good. I thought the offensive line opened up some holes though that he normally doesn't get a chance to see too.
Yep.
And I thought like even when you're looking forward to this matchup, think about this. For all the Pirine enthusiasts, I love it. I think that's a dope concept to really be behind a guy. Like I always say, every team needs a Pirine. Every team wants a Joe Mixon in my mind, because even when I go back and look, I was watching that Chiefs game in December earlier. Man, there's some runs on there. If y'all think Pirine was going crazy on them, because remember, he ran for about 109 yards in that game. If they show Mixon those same looks, he could run for 152, like 180 or something like that. He has big playability, and I think a lot of people have two different styles of, how they view the running back position, and then they kind of subconsciously put the money conversation into it. Like, well, if I pay my guy $12 million, he needs to be, you know what I mean? Like you got those people too. So I just think that Mixon and Pirine are like a crazy duo. And in the NFL is leading to that. And I thought like Mixon has that big playability, and people saw it. If he gets the correct angle on you, I thought it started in the Saints game. There's a play like on the sideline. I think it's like their best linebacker and Demario Davis or something. He's got a one-on-one with him on the side. And then the dude just goes flying by. I said, oh, he's back. And I told Mixon that. I said, man, you're running at a high level and they just don't understand it yet. Then he started stacking some games up. And our team is crazy like this too, because you can't just look at rushing stats. So many teams play us in cover 2, or so many teams come to the game and say, well, we're going to stop the run and keep everything in front of us. But the extension of that is throwing the football, and P. Ryan and Mixon have more catches than Tyler Boyd. So, like, one thing that they don't talk about is, like, him catching out of the backfield. And I thought he murdered the Bills. Like, Matt Milano and them, like, with all due respect, I heard he was all pro. You mean to tell me there's only 3 linebackers in the league better than that dude? He made him look like he was a rookie out there. Like, so you're right. I hadn't thought about that. Like, Mixon was really good in that game.
All right, let me ask you this now. We move past Buffalo, even though, you are just continuing to disintegrate on Twitter. Every Buffalo fan I think that's ever lived. But now to Kansas City, okay? And here we go with, beat them 3 times in a calendar year, Burrowhead Stadium, all that kind of thing. I asked
you like that, don't you?
I love it. I asked Tim McGee this yesterday on the show. Zach Taylor made a comment, progressing as Jonah Williams, progressing as Alex Kappa. His tone and tenor to me, and I'm not getting Freudian here, but it sounded to me like they're not going to play. But even if they could play, even if you got them at, say, 75, 80%, after what I saw last week, Zim, I'd have a hard time making any changes on that offensive line that took the field in Buffalo. But this is a different cat now with Kansas City. I think we all agree statistically Buffalo is a better defense. But I would make the argument that Kansas City is a better pass rush. You agree or disagree?
I don't think about from my perspective, if I'm the Bengals, like, think about the losses, and we talked about this earlier in the year on the show. The teams that beat us had Myles Garrett, Micah Parsons, and TJ Watt up front. And then the Ravens, who probably have, like, if not the best, like the top 3 defense in the NFL. You mean to tell me, like, Frank Clark and an aging Carlos Dunlap? Like, I just can't. I don't see it. I feel like I thought the Bills' defensive line rotation of Boogie Basham, Esperanza, like, if you told me before the season, I thought that the Bills on paper had one of the best fronts in the NFL. In the walk out of that game, and Joe Burrow only takes like 1 sack for like 2 yards or whatever. I don't see the depth, and I don't see everything with the Chiefs. Like, I know the sack numbers are there. I just can't see it. Like, after going through what we've gone through with this team, like, I mean, bro, you almost beat Aaron Donald, in a Super Bowl, like, with Von Miller and Leonard Floyd. Frank Clark and Carlos Dunlap ain't moving me. I'm sorry.
What about Chris Jones? I mean, look, Buffalo didn't have Chris Jones.
Chris Jones, the last time we played him in December, the tape is disgusting. If I was a Chiefs fan, I wouldn't even want him on my team. He gave up on like 3 or 4 plays that I've outlined on my Twitter. He was a non-factor, didn't register a pressure or a sack. Doesn't even have a playoff sack to date. I think nothing of Chris Jones in this moment right now. I think he's a fine player, but when they needed him the most, we packed him up and we put him on a plane just like the rest of them, Thom.
But what was the word you used? What was it? Teaching
Thom
today? Put a seatbelt on him, Zim. Teaching Thom, put a seatbelt.
Putting seatbelts on them boys. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, look, like, it's do or die now. We're in the Final Four. You guys like NCAA, and you watch college more than me. We in the Final Four. It's put up or shut up time. Like, you can't tell me the strength of, like, the weakness to me would be on the tackle positions for the offensive line. If that, right? The interior, I feel good about Teddy football. I feel good about what I saw from Max Sharpen. I think if Alex Kappa has a chance to play, maybe I play him. I think Jonah will hold out. I mean, we got a real conversation. I thought you were about to ask me, what if Jonah says he's ready to play? That's a real conversation. What do you think? Let me ask you this. What do you think? If Jonah said, yeah, I'm at 90-something% and I feel really good, do you start him over Jackson Carman?
You know what? I'm not. If you were talking about a Pro Bowl player, or you were talking about a guy who's had an outstanding season, absolutely. I'd put him back in there. But look, I've said it once. I've said it 1,000 times on this show. I give Jonah Williams all the credit in the world. He dislocated his kneecap earlier this year. He did not miss a single game. He was back the next week. And I give it up to the guy. Guys like that I want on my team. But he's allowed 12 sacks. He has not had a great year. Jackson Carman gets his first start at left tackle in the NFL. It's where he played in college. I know it's only one game, so I don't want to go too crazy like a lot of people do. If the guy stinks for one game, you want to throw him in the ocean. If he's great for one game, you want to put him in the Hall of Fame. But I thought the guy played well enough where he ought to start this week, especially if he's at 100% and another guy's not at 100%. So, Zim, we got to let you run. You were late getting to us today, and you got to come back now later in the week so we can really break down your guy, Patrick Mahomes, and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Hey, look, they want to say Patrick Mahomes versus Burrow. It's Patrick Mahomes versus Ludini, Lou Anarumu. And I'm telling you right now, I like my chances. Ludini's cooking up something in the lab for Patricia right now as we speak, Thom. I'm telling you, I'm sorry. I'm very confident. I know that there's some viewers that be like, man, these guys are so cocky. No, I'm confident. I believe in what I've seen, and I trust my eyes. I think you're wearing some awesome glasses on. You see it.
These are called cheaters. These are old man glasses that I can pick up at Walgreens for $8 or $9, Zim. So they are what they are.
Well, hey, look. Well, I think you're seeing what I'm seeing these days. Even when you take them off, I feel like how I had to wipe off the camera. I feel like your vision just got like everything just started opening up for you. I think you saying even the questions you just asked me, you were like, what about Chris Jones? You don't think Chris Jones could do that with me? You know I got number 9. You know what I know. We in savage mode now. It's do or die. You know what I know. You just got to ask those questions for the viewers. I know what you're on. You really got that, you got that dog in you. It's time to let it out. Roof. You know what I'm saying? You see how quick that was? You see what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to let that thing roll. It's time.
Zim, you're the man. You're the man. All right, we're coming back later in the week. We thank Zim WhoDey. Now,
Thanks, Zim.
does that guy not get you fired up? You wish the game was played right now. That's the man.